So I haven't done a political video in about 3 weeks. I've been trying to deliberately stay away from politics for the last few weeks because I know all the noise is going to come out before this election on the 12th of December. It's now exactly 1 week away. And I've predicted all the noise, all the crap that was going to come out. I was just trying to stay away from it, trying to stay away from all the negativity. But I wanted to make a video now because over the course of this campaign, we've had several developments. We had the ITV debate, leaders debate, Jeremy Corbyn, Boris Johnson, which was the only debate I actually watched because I can't be asked. I watched the ITV debate, and in my opinion, call me biased, it was a Corbyn win, a Corbyn victory. He stood there, looked statesmanly, answered the questions clearly, concisely. He only failed to answer one question, and Boris Johnson just waffled and made it all about Corbyn and Brexit. So, in my point of view, it was a Corbyn win. We saw the release of the papers that Jeremy Corbyn claims is evidence that the Americans want our NHS on the table in any future trade deal. And that for me was the turning point. That was when I stopped caring about Brexit, about personality, about what Boris Johnson's done in the past, about what Corbyn's done in the past. That was when I stopped caring about that. Because this election just became about our NHS. Fuck everything else. Forget Brexit. I want to leave the EU. I am pro-leave, if you will. I'm a Brexiteer, a Lexiteer, whatever you want to call me. I'm a Eurosceptic. But for me, this Tory Brexit is going to be a disaster. I don't want it. And for me, as wishy-washy as Labour's position on Brexit has been, as weak as their Brexit stance seems to be, as flawed as their policy seems to be, for me, leaving the European Union takes a backseat to dealing with all the social issues that we currently have. In the last 10 years, of Tory government have brought us austerity. We've seen old people dying in their homes with nothing in the cupboards, kids going to school hungry, teachers having to raise money by asking the parents to buy things as insignificant and as trivial as pens. We have seen teachers going to food banks, nurses going to food banks. Food bank use in general is at an all-time high. Workers' rights are at the lowest level they have been, or the lowest standard they have been since the Victorian era. In-work poverty at an all-time high. This is all down to the cuts that the Tories claimed that was necessary to recover us from the 2008 global financial crisis, which, contrary to popular belief, was not down to the Labour government. It was down to lenders in the USA lending money left and right to people who wanted to buy homes and not think of the consequences. Subsequently, the economy collapsed. That came over the ocean and hit us as well. It wasn't down to the Labour government or the last Labour government. It was down to the banks and the lenders. That's what caused the crash. And the Tories come along, and of course all their friends are in big banks and big business and corporations. They come along and they said, we need some cuts. Yes, we did need cuts at that point. We did need to sort of cut back our economy a little bit and make things right again. Of course we did. But it's where they put those cuts that really showed how contemptuously the Tories view the working class, the poor, the vulnerable, the needy, the elderly, the disabled, our children. So when he rolled out, or when Jeremy Corbyn released these documents that say, in no uncertain terms, that the Americans expect full market access when it comes to medicine, that was the turning point for me. I stopped caring about Brexit. I stopped caring about Boris Johnson and what he's done in the past and what he called black people. While that's all important, and while it's all important that we have this discussion, for me, it just became about the NHS, as well as being about austerity and the last 10 years of cuts. Because a government that's been in power for a decade, or almost a decade, should be able to campaign based on their victories, based on what they've achieved, based on what they've done. Instead, the Tory party campaign slogan is very Orwellian. It's Britain deserved better. Yeah, we do deserve better. That's why I'm voting Labour. Now, I want to make a personal note right now. The Tories, a couple of years ago, they passed a vote in the Commons to deal with kids' meals, free school meals for children. And while they liked to claim that the Labour Party was scaremongering when they said that it would take food out of kids' mouths, the Labour Party, from my perspective, was largely correct in that instance, because my own son, my autistic disabled child, will not be entitled to free school meals after year 3. And yes, at the moment, we're financially okay. We could probably provide him with some meals to go to school with. But that's not the point. If you ever try to feed an autistic child, you will know it can be very, very difficult. My son can ask for one thing for dinner, and then when it's in front of him, change his mind. That's can any child, of course, but this is a lot more pronounced with my son, and I believe it's because of his autism. He will change his mind. So we're going to have to waste probably quite a lot of money packing him lunches that he decides not to eat at lunchtime at school. Whereas at school where he's in reception at the moment, so at school where he is now, he gets free school meals. And he goes in and he's able to pick what he wants. There and then, at the very immediate moment, at the time that he wants to eat it. Rather than deciding what he wants a day before or in the morning, taking it to school and then not wanting it and not eating. My son may very well go hungry because the Tories have decided that you don't deserve free school meals once you reach year 3. Free school meals is something that I benefited from greatly throughout my entire time at school, primary school, secondary school, all of it. Benefited greatly, really helped, it really did. And that's been taken away by the Tories from my child. And that for me was the moment that it was sealed. I'm never ever going to vote Tory in my life. Labour will always get my vote as long as we have a Tory government and an actual viable socialist alternative. Not New Labour, not Diet Tory, socialist. As long as Labour is the Socialist Party, they will get my vote. That's always going to be how it is now for the rest of my life. I will never ever vote Tory. And I want to say now, as I said a couple of days ago via status, if you're close to me, if you're somebody who knows me, if you're a relative or a friend, for the last few elections I've been able to forgive most votes. I've never much cared for the Tories, or the Lib Dems for that matter. But I've always believed that someone's vote is their prerogative and they should vote how they want to vote. Bear in mind, I still believe that. I still believe your vote is your prerogative, your vote is your right to exercise how you want. But I will take a Tory vote personally. I will take it as a personal insult that you're okay with the Tories literally taking food out of my child's mouth. And we will likely fall out. I just want to get that out there. I will take it personally. A Lib Dem vote, I can abide, I suppose. I personally would never vote for them because of what they did in 2010. And the fact that Jo Swinson has voted for more Tory austerity policies than many actual Tories. So for me, the Lib Dems are just the Tories in a yellow rosette. But if you want to vote for them, I can abide it. I can put up with it. I can swallow it, sort of. Particularly if it's a tactical vote just to get a Tory out. I can swallow that. Okay, fair enough. Green, whatever. Brexit Party, I just think you're a bit of a prat, but I'll get over it. Tory vote, that for me is the ultimate disgrace. I will never, I probably will forgive it, but I will take it personally. I will take it as a personal insult, and we will probably fall out over it. So I'm not telling you how to vote, how you should vote, but I'm just telling you that if you vote Tory, me and you are probably going to fall out if we're close. That's it. That's all I wanted to say. So don't forget to actually vote. And actually, if you haven't registered to vote, if your name's not on the list when you go into the polling station, you can actually request a provisional ballot. It's required by law. So remember that. Get that out there. It's required by law. If you're not registered, or if your name's not on the list for some reason, you are legally entitled to a provisional ballot. Ask for it. Don't let them take away your voice and your right to vote. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.